Well, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, thumbs up. It's good to metabolize, and I hope that you are enjoying metabolizing as well. Oddly enough, it is not raining. It was not raining when I went out walking last night. It is not raining right now. That is unusual for this area at this moment because we've had just so much rain. Oh my God. It is just massive amounts of water everywhere. The flooding is terrible. Thumbs up for that. But it's been warmish again, so no snow or anything like that. I mean, I almost didn't need to wear one of my plaid/flannel shirts as a coat last night. It was so warm. So thumbs up for that. Hopefully things are going well wherever you live. No flooding, no bad snowing, no terrible things that make life difficult. Yay. And of course, preloading and front loading of the videos, thank you YouTube bot. If you like what you see in here, if you could toss me a like, that would be very cool. If you enjoy as well what you see in here, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, I enjoy comments and I do my best to push through my executive function to answer as many as I can. And of course, if you could become one of these beautiful and awesome patrons, that would be beautiful and awesome. These beautiful and awesome people literally help to keep me alive, and that is a good thing. Greatly appreciated. Without these people, I would be hosed, and these people are good, awesome, and wonderful people, and this list is going to be updated again very, very soon. So I can't remember how long I've had my hands in the air. Thumbs up for that. Hopefully not too long, not too short. Yay! Oh, itchy nose. And front loading of the video over. Yay. Thanks YouTube. No boy. And of course, with the way the algorithms go, more and more, people are having to make thumbnails the way that I look at the thumbnail and I just blip right over it because I hate what they're doing. People are having to do for the algorithms for thumbnails. I actively skip right over most of the things that YouTube says, do this! And I'm quite sure that works for like the lowest common denominator for their audience. But for me, it's like I see these great big old design for the algorithm thumbnails and I'll just blip right over the video and go on to the next one. I primarily look to the titles now. Thumbnails, I mean, I have literally unsubscribed from channels because of thumbnails, because if they're going to go that route, how can I trust the rest of their content? So it's yay. I mean, I know I'm a boomer in that fashion. Life is life. Life is life. I'm not quite exactly an actual boomer by definition. I was born 2 years before the end of the boomer phase, but I was raised as the next generation. So I'm 2 years a boomer by age, but again, raised by the next generation. So I'm not an actual boomer, but let me tell you, boy, I was talking with my therapist about this one yesterday. I grew up around computers and watching the internet grew up. I mean, I had my first computer in 1982, a VIC-20 with only 4 kilobytes of RAM. Then I got a Commodore 64 with 64 kilobytes of RAM. And then I got myself an Amiga 500 later in the year. And then I went and in 1993 got myself an IBM PC compatible clone. And then I've been on PCs since then. 1993-ish also, I was using, about that time, I was using the local university to go online and using Gopher and FTP to hunt down stuff and get files. And then I watched the World Wide Web grow up and the browser wars with Mozilla and all this. I used to hand code HTML and Notepad. I am no stranger to all this stuff, but I get to sites like Facebook and all of these sites, like the Veterans Administration website, and I don't know what's going on. I feel like an absolute, hey, I'm a boomer and this is my first piece of equipment when I go to places like that. So, yay. Luckily, it's not all sites, but I mean, even Facebook, I don't get it. And isn't that special that I can't even get the boomer website. joy, but it's not everything. It's just some things like that. Yeah. But still, I had therapy yesterday, and then I had my med manager appointment yesterday. So I require, habit and routine much more than I thought was actually true. But it is true. I require it a lot, and so just having my therapy appointment knocks me off of my schedule. And then add the med manager stuff on top of it. Oh, the whole day was just thrown into ruin. Not in a bad way, though. I mean, life is life. You have to live with what you live with. Change is change. So, went and did that stuff, and it was fine. I survived. I didn't get much done after that, though. In fact, I kind of fell asleep later on. I had issues with that. It was, One thing that does make me sad, though, and there's no one I can complain to, it's just the way it is, but I have issues with a whole bunch of stuff all through my life because I had abuse when I was a child of various types, and that affected how I act. And while my social withdrawal, as I was talking with my therapist about, I believe it was caused by that, made worse by the depression, made worse by the ADHD, made worse by being an autistic person. And only at age 59 do I realize that all of these things came together to make those things worse. So the social withdrawal is great and joyous, and at least I know why and how for that, trying to remember where the point was going. But you see, this is the mental issue on that one. I thought I had the point, and then I lost it as I'm talking, and I am so sorry. Because ADHD just ruins my memory, even though I'm taking medication for it, but my ADHD is so severe. One of the things I did talk about, and I have wanted to talk about, I talked about it with my therapist, and I'll talk about it now. In fact, here it is. This is the thing I wanted to talk about. Because of the things that happened to me when I was younger, and the way that I dealt with them when I was younger, I became an alcoholic to deal with these issues. I was drinking alcohol before I was even 10 years old, and I was a functional alcoholic by the time I was a teen, and then I was an active physical alcoholic up until the year 2000 when I finally went to rehab. But the alcoholism tied in with the ADHD, which makes it so hard to remember anything at all. I'm 59. Subtract 15 years from that, from your early childhood. Everybody do that. Take your calendar age, subtract 15 years, and it's about that point is when you start actually creating adult memories. So at 59, subtract 15. That's like 45 years of life that I should have memories of. But because I was an active alcoholic up into the year 2000, and because I am out of sight, out of mind, difficult to remember things, ADHD, of those 45 years that I have lived, I remember about 20 of them. So I have 35 years worth of life and living that I remember, 20 plus 15 from my childhood. And I should have 45. But the drinking destroys your ability to remember things, and ADHD destroys your ability to remember things. I've experienced less than half of what I should have by this time by memory. No one to complain to. Life is life. So it's joyous in that fashion. I'm very, very glad that I've experienced so little. I've experienced a lot. It's just being able to remember it. Yay. Also called out on the whole ADHD part, I saw a post about someone talking about habits and how hard it is to do habits. And again, I have talked in my vlogging about how I require constant reinforcement or I just stop doing things. And guess what? That's another ADHD thing. It takes 30 days to make or break a habit. You just have to do it every day, and it still takes 30 days. I can do something every single day all day for 3 months. And if I forget to do it one day at the end of that 3 months, I forget to do it forever. It's not a habit. I did not develop that habit after 3 months of constant work. It's just gone after one day of accidentally forgetting it. I'll remember 6 months later that, oh yeah, I was trying to do that. So I can't even make the habits that I want to make. But what's even more annoying as a human being, a couple years back now, I ironically started saying poggers as an expression of happiness thing. I only did it like 3 times in actual out loud lifetime things because I thought it was funny. 3 times. And I found myself saying poggers unironically just when something had happened. And I went, oh, poggers. And I was like, how? 3 times I said it and it became a habit. Other things I fight for 3 months, forget once, and it's gone. I can't make a habit, but it'll show up all on its own. It's fun being human, joyous and friendly. And of course the VA now has different systems, so my med manager can now submit prescriptions electronically instead of physically, where every 3 months she used to have to send in 3 months worth of prescriptions. Now I have to remember to call her up every single month to request the next month's prescription. Oh boy, am I going to remember this? Oh. So today I'm going to continue just trying to do as best that I can. There are things that I want to get done. There are things that I need to get done that I still can't, but I'm getting closer because, hey, we finally left the horrible part of the year behind. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get that stuff done. I'm going to constantly be thinking of good stuff because, of course, here I'll go with some mild things about my whole fictional setting here. I've been thinking constantly about the whole inside-outside because every time I think, this is done, there's nothing more than I can really think about, I'll just suddenly go, boink, well, what about cryptids? And now I've got a whole thing that still needs a ton of work about the entire cryptid part of the inside-outside. That is still a huge section with massive amounts of mining necessary. So things always keep opening up. And one of the things that I have been thinking of, because the way I lean politically and such is I don't like racism. I don't like bigotry. I mean, human beings are human beings. We all have prejudices. We all have things that we like and don't like. Sometimes they have reasons. Sometimes it's just the way we are wired. You cannot help it if you look at a human being and you do not like something about facial structure or skin tone or something like that. We are wired in certain ways and we discover these things as we go through life. But you are a human being. You are able to think things through. And not liking a skin tone, not liking a facial structure, not liking something about an ethnic group of people, once you know it and you realize that that's irrational, you work around it. Everybody in the world is entitled to be just as prejudiced on the inside as you want. You can think whatever you like. It's when it comes out into the outside world, you need to knock that off. As long as you can fit in, you're fine that way. It'd be nice if nobody thought terrible stuff, but we do. But on the inside, you have to remember, everything is infinite. The ocean of infinite potential contains variations, infinite variations on everything. And when people show up on the inside and on the razor's edge, skin tone, facial features, any kind of ethnic tagging has very, very much little or nothing to do with where you would have come from. You didn't evolve to get these features because human beings and every variation of human beings has always existed on the inside from the very beginning of time. Out here, we've evolved in various ways with various skin colors and various this, that, and the other because of evolutionary pressures around the globe. On the inside, because we've been there since the very beginning, every variation of us, there are no evolutionary pressures. When people show up with ethnic features, there's often no reason for them to have that other than they are human beings, and human beings have a ton, near infinite variety within us. So you'll find people that look like they're Polynesian islanders that are the equivalent of desert nomads. You will find people that look like they come from very hot, very, very sunny places that have to bundle up and take care of themselves because they come from extreme cold. There is very little pressure for someone to have a background that includes the ethnicity and the things that cause them, because it's an infinite fluid geography, and where you come from has very, very little to do with anything else that happens. So people come with an infinite variety, and on the inside and on the razor's edge, things like skin tone, facial structure, language, talk. Language is another thing I gotta talk about another day, but all of these things are just, they don't matter because they are much more social on the inside. No, it's if you look out for the community will look out for you. That's what matters. The other parts, all that's unimportant. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments, my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank, however many people have left me a comment. Isn't many, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you so very much. And if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. American English speaker. And even though I count in American Sign Language, well, with my depression, fibro, and you've seen it work. So hopefully at least some people are still watching. Thumbs up for that. Okay, calling on microphone. We have sympathetic, thumbs up, and there is William Brooks, greatly appreciated, and Dabbage Cabbage, thumbs up. Confused Owl, good to see you in the comments, thumbs up and thank you. Canada Moose, greatly appreciated. We have Ben B, thumbs up. There's Tony Bennett, greatly appreciated. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. And that is 8 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated. Hey, anything more than 0 is awesome. Thumbs up for that. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time, if only in text. Thumbs up and thank you. And of course, I don't know what device you're watching this on, but in the show more for the video description, if you're on a device that can even see comments or allow you to leave comments, but comment or see things like the video description, because I have links to all of my various channels. I also have links to my Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and of course, once again, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people literally help to keep me alive, and I do not and cannot thank these people enough. I mean, quite honestly. And it's good. So thank you so very, very much. I appreciate being alive, and I know that my pets appreciate being alive as well. Thank you all so very much. If you'd like to become a patron yourself, there are links, of course. Definitely a thumbs up. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wish list link with things like cat food. And there's a plushie on there. Other things, if you could check it out, that'd be very awesome. Don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. And if you cannot or do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that'd be very cool as well. Definitely appreciate it. And of course, I like to say this because it's true. Creativity, positivity, and balance are all good things to build a foundation of life upon. They're not the only things, and there are lots of other good ones as well. But if you don't know where to start, this is a good one. So I'm going to keep doing what I do today. I'm going to try to do positive things. I'm going to try to remember my life. Not that it matters. We all die. And of course, please, with the covfefe bug still raging and everyone in the United States especially being moronic about this, if you have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed mouth breathers, please wear a mask, maintain your social distancing as best you can, try not to touch your face, wash your hands off, and get vaxxed if you haven't been. Get a booster if you can get it. Oy vey, people. I mean, if you're watching this, likely you're one of the smart ones. So I'm likely just preaching to the choir. But still, oy vey. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, that's a very good thing.